May I just say about the trip out west by the president and the first lady? Number one, we have entered the dawn of a hot first lady, and we deserve this. We deserve an amazingly gorgeous first lady who's bringing style back to the job. Look at her in her green puffy coat, her tight jeans, her boots, her black beanie, and her aviators with her perfect lipstick and hair. Trump, here he is on the helicopter, but when he is on Air Force One, he is using the big boy steps. We've seen the return of a hot first lady and the return of the big boy steps to Air Force One, Batya. And this is the first couple we deserve. So they travel out west in style, like grown-ups. And by the way, Melania Trump was seen speaking to victims, I can't remember whether it was North Carolina or California, of one of those two tragedies in her native tongue in 2 different foreign languages. She's reportedly fluent in 6 foreign languages, but the New York Times dismissed her as a mannequin. Anyway, they go out there, and Trump picks a fight with Mayor Karen Bass, which was absolutely beautiful. This soundbite's a little long, but watch it play out. They're arguing over how long it's going to take to clean up the fire damage in places like the Pacific Palisades, so people can get back on their properties and get what might still be there, which there is in some cases some debris that's salvageable, see the damage, survey what's left so they can figure out their next move. None of that's being allowed. Watch.
But we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. And we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking, I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract that's going to charge him $25,000 to do his lot. Yeah. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because
if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
That's not
yes,
true.
but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit, and the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Let me tell you something, Batya. My dear friend whose house burned down in the Pacific Palisades, she's my one woke friend, but she's sane. I adore her. She wanted to get back into her house. You know why? Because they have these little heart rocks that she and her kids have been collecting since the kids were babies. Whatever place they went, they'd get if they find a rock that looks like a heart, they collected it, and they had it in a jar, and it was on top of the mantle at the fireplace, and they all really thought it could still be there. Like, that's one thing that might not have burned, and it would give the girl something to have. And nope, no, you can't get anywhere. Well, you know what? She scaled a wall and she got in a full hazmat outfit, but she managed to do it. And she had to countermand the orders. They were not letting her in. She just did it. And it's because of Karen Bass and this nonsense. You can't get in. There's a video in the Daily Mail today of a guy saying, I just want to drive by. And you've got the soldiers or whoever's patrolling the area saying, we're not allowed. LAPD is not allowing us to let anybody in there. There's Trump with a hefty dose of common sense saying, just let them in. A week is too long. Some of the stuff will spoil if it managed to survive. And the 18 months that they were arguing over, that's on camera too. It is, I'll just show you this soundbite quickly. The LA Director of Public Works, Mark Pestrella, told Karen Bass and council members within the past week that it's going to take 18 months to clear the debris. Now she sits there at that meeting with Trump and says it's not true. That her Director of Public Works says it is. Here it is.
We know that the first phase will take some time. Phase 1 will take up to 3 months, maybe even longer, 6 months to get the toxics off. At the same time that is occurring, we'll be coming behind you with the process of debris removal. The debris removal can take up to 18 months, Supervisor. And I'm going to stop there because I want to make sure everybody hears that clearly. I know we want to set expectations. And I said at the beginning, I'm going to tell you what I know when I know it.
We heard it clearly. 2 years until these people get their property back. What do you think?
First of all, Megyn, were the rocks there? The heart rocks? Did she find them?
Yes, they were there, and she salvaged them. But they were about to be carted away, I guess, within 2 years' time by Karen Bass and, her 2-year plan to, clear the area. And it's like, look, if people want to go there and immerse themselves in toxins to try to salvage what they can, that's up to them. Why is that not up to, it's not like Big Brother tries to control everything. They can do what my friend did, which is actually put on like a safety suit and a mask and risk it if it's really important to them. But big sister thinks she knows better, and the whole town is saying 2 years before you get your property back.
I honestly watching Donald Trump sitting there and just calling her on her BS, I did not realize that a president could just do that, could just show up and say, that is not true. I know it's not true. Why don't you tell the truth now? Why don't you change this policy? It's the most radical thing. And it's so obvious and so simple. If that is all he accomplishes, of course, we know he's doing much, much more than that. But to just show up and say, I am going to be the accountability here. This is utterly unacceptable. Let these people into their homes. Let's have a little common sense here. Stop lying to me. And it's so amazing how she says, first she says they can go to their homes. And he says, no, they can't. And she says, well, they will be able to go to their homes, right? The immediate follow-up. I mean, this is really and truly powerful, powerful stuff. And you made the greatest point, which is whether you're broke in Appalachia or rich in California, Donald Trump wants you to thrive. And that is what this presidency is going to be about.
There is somebody on X named Eric Matheny who tweeted out the following, and I loved it. I wrote it down. Trump is governing like a man who has been shot, indicted, investigated, and impeached, and has zero fucks left to give. It's glorious. That's exactly right. He's saying it all. So then, Batya, he gets into a back and forth with this California lawmaker named Brad Sherman, a Dem, who'd been giving him a hard time because Trump said, you know what, we want to give you federal relief, but I want 2 conditions met before you get it. And that is, number 1, allow the water to flow to Southern California, like I've been saying for years, so we can be ensured that this isn't going to happen again. And number 2, you should require voter ID in this state, where they seem to have an allergy to voter ID. So he's getting all this blowback, like, how can you condition, the aid on voter ID? It's not fair. And Brad gave him some guff about that earlier in the meeting. And then this exchange happens where Trump had thoughts for Brad on the insurance situation out in California, SOT 7.
Mr. President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a $500,000
you did something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And
Brad, me,
every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know what
I'll
you
tell
know
you this,
about my thinking.
I've never seen a state where almost nobody has insurance.
Here's a little more in SOT 8. They continue.
There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little things like water. The party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient.
Back to Brad. But yeah, we keep hearing that, the party of common sense. And Batya, for me, that really resonates because that's kind of how I've seen myself in media for a while. Like, I'm not F you in your bigoted charges. I don't want boys in girls' sports. That makes me commonsensical. That's what that makes me, right? Like Trump's leaning into this and he's 100% right, which is why he's got majority support on the immigration policies, on the trans policies. Who the hell would disagree with we need water to fight fires?
Absolutely. You're totally right, Megyn. The common sense theme is such an important one here in terms of understanding where Trump is coming from. I will disagree with that tweet just a little bit. I don't think he's governing like he has no F's to give. I think he's governing like an assassin who spent the last 4 years developing a perfect plan and now is executing it executive order by executive order by executive order with a kind of confidence and a kind of sort of happy warrior attitude, knowing that he has the American people behind him. And you're totally right. You look at the polling and where Donald Trump is at, and whether it's immigration or tariffs or gender issues or even abortion, this is where most Americans are at. The vast majority of Americans are in the sort of radical moderate middle. So people are pretty pro-gay. They're pro-gay marriage. They really like, Scott Bessent, the highest appointed gay out person in the history of this country, Trump appointee, right? People like to see that, but they really don't like the trans agenda. They really don't like it in schools. They really don't like it in sports, right? Common sense.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So, what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today by texting MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. No obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.